All right, it's going. Yeah, it should just be my voice going through. Yes. Anyone who comes in, please take the time to get any of your music streaming and or playing platforms booted up, gone through, all that jazz. You can also play jazz if you like to. uh, Watch me draw one of my characters live. That's good enough. Today's going to be a very chill live stream. Very just no like you know, nothing too intensive, too major going on. Just me drawing one of my characters. My God, I keep trying to paste a link of my live stream in places, but it's the very where the button used to be. There's now the AI assistant, so I keep pressing it instead, and it keeps bringing it up. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to you right now. I just did it again. Why must you be right there? Okay, we should be good now. All right, everyone, welcome Translator Kun. He will do my best to, or he will do his best to provide translations to the Japanese audience. These translations will obviously not all be accurate, but he is doing his best. All right, let's get into it. But I have him up just because it's going to be mostly a talking stream, and I do want to eventually get bilingual, so I would like to reach out to that side of the world as well. All right, gonna bring this up. All right. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the live stream. Konnichiwa, minasan. Today we are going to be playing, not playing anything. We're not playing anything today. We'll be playing it later today, though. Today, we're going to draw some characters. I'm basically drawing this new character I've done, just recently. Which actually, now that I think about it, I should probably bring up her thing. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? It's almost like that's what I have the reference sheet for. So let me bring this up in the background so you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. And then once I get to the drawing screen, we'll have everything ready. I really should have thought about this before I started up the live stream. I don't know why I was just like, yeah, I'll just draw her as is. I don't need a reference sheet. It's almost it's the whole sole reason of why I draw these reference sheets is so I can draw these drawings of them. Boy. Where is she? Oh, there you go. Whatever. There you are. All right. So anyways, let's get into it, guys. uh, where is our thing? Is this one? Boop. Okay. So here is the reference sheet that I originally did for Heather. Uh, this is basically everything I drew for her. She's a very interesting character of mine. She's kind of like my Keyblader, my Kingdom Hearts inspired OC. I would she could technically work in the world of Kingdom Hearts as well too, but her whole thing is working actually in my regular lore, where she comes from a village of these people who all basically have this heart weapon that they attach to themselves, and it comes in many different forms. It can be a sword, it can be a gun, it can be basically anything that they want, whatever they feel most comfortable wielding. In her case, it is a sword. So she has this blade with the little like heart at the end, and yeah, it's basically her main heart weapon. And of course, she has as you can see here from on this, she has the original part that was how it was originally formed and how it was originally made. And then she has a shattered version, which is what it is currently because she went through some rough things in her story. She did go through a very bad breakup, and it ended up breaking her heart, not only physically, but like, you know, um, mentally or not mentally as well. That's the word I'm looking for. Both literally and figuratively. I think that's the word I was looking for. Uh, so, so yeah, she now wields this version of the weapon, which I'm probably gonna draw her. I want to draw her at least wielding it. I'm not exactly sure what pose I want to put her in, but I do at least want to draw her with this weapon out and with this outfit. That's kind of like my main goal, at least today with her, is to make a full drawing of that. And then she has again, depending on this is a cool aspect of her character. I thought that was cool that she actually has eyes that or her eye color that changes depending on if there's light reflecting it in it more or not. So it's kind of more naturally teal, but when light hits it, it turns more green. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm going to. So I'll probably be swapping between the two very occasionally, but this is where I'm going to be drawing her at. And where's my pen? But yeah, will be fun times indeed coming through. I think this is I'm on size 10 brush. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I forgot that it was actually this much. I think I want to start with 2. Yeah, 2 is going to be our sketching pen, I think. Because one's a little bit too thin. Currently, the composition for this is a 2K resolution. So this will at least work and look good on 4K screens. It should at least. And we'll see how that goes. Okay. So I think I want to draw at least I want to do some pre-sketches first. I want to do a couple of sketches, just thinking of poses, because I want to try to nail that down first, and then we'll go from there. One pose I had for her before. I've done this for so many people, so I'm not sure if I'll stick with it. But there's like the one where she's sitting down, one leg up, other leg down, and then hand or arm over her knee, holding on to the weapon like that. I kind of like that idea. I like to look at that. The only reason why I feel like I wouldn't is because I remember this harkens back to something I drew way in the past, where Xavier had the same pose in one of his things. But I like it. I think it's a cool pose. So that might be an idea for her. Um, I was thinking of anything else. Maybe I can have her do a standing pose. So one where she's just standing like this. Actually, it would kind of be actually at an angle now that I think about it. Kind of like looking up at her. There you go. I was thinking something like that, where she's kind of looking down at the camera and her weapon's like right there, hand on her hip. I was thinking something like that even. Um, I was thinking maybe even some dynamic poses where she's like in mid combat or mid swing of something. The only thing is about doing the combat poses though is I'm not entirely sure what her fighting style would be yet. Because there's a lot of different one-handed sword styles they have. I think the main one I'm kind of thinking of that she would be in is like something like this, where she's bending. One hand over here. The other one outstretched with her sword in front. Which actually, how does the Keyblade look again? It's kind of like a... Yeah, because if I remember how you usually hold it, you always hold it so the fork end of it is kind of pointing up. Because you're actually hitting them with the more blunt edge of it in most cases. So in this case, it would be like that. There you go. Just putting some more ideas out there. Um, yeah, this is the conception phase, ladies and gentlemen. I'm also willing to take any suggestions I get. But let's see if we got. Let's see if I can think of anything else. So far, I'm really partial to pose number 1. I should also, I would say I should number these also. I'm really partial to pose number 1, just because that's kind of what I've originally thought of. I just need to think about what the background and everything would look like, though, too, because I'm not sure where she would be, to be fair. I think these are actually the main 3 I would choose from. I don't think I'd be partial to drawing her in another one, especially with the blade on her. I think this one looks cool because I think she has it. I think this is a cool pose, which is kind of what I want to have her imbue a lot of. And then she can have her signature just glare, just like, what the hell are you doing? And then, and again, it's because her weapon's in the forefront of the picture, it'll kind of put a lot of emphasis towards that. So yeah, I'm kind of partial to number 1, to be fair. I do like the idea of these other ones. Let me know if you guys want to see me do it in these other 2 poses as well too. Sometime in the future maybe. But I think I'm definitely gonna stick with this one, the number 1 pose. All right, so let's quickly hide this layer, put on a new layer. Basic sketch. So we're gonna just get everything basically down first, especially because I want to conceptualize not only where she stands in the full frame, um, I want to kind of put in the background too. So actually, let me put Heather basic, because this sketch I'm about to do is only Heather. So let's try do. Because I'm most likely I'm gonna need to resize it, so I want to make sure I can just select her instead. Yeah, what I'm thinking of with the pose I was looking at is I want her to be on the left side of the drawing, and then I want yeah, I want her to be on the left side, and then all the rest of the background will be in the corner. I'm thinking about honestly like a rooftop overlooking something might be a cool idea. Maybe I can even do some conceptualizing for Apex, because that's mainly the area where I could see her being. It's either that or well, no, I could try to draw Key, the hometown she's from, but she's not keen on going back there because she does not have a lot of good memories of such place. So I think I might be more partial to drawing Apex in the background, especially because I don't really think I've drawn a full like actual map of Apex or like a building of Apex. So I think that'd be cool. So yeah, a little bit hunched over. Actually, yeah, because I'm trying to think about where her main joints are going to be. I think her shoulders are going to be like right here. I want her waist to be bent like right about there, and the legs would protrude about right there and right there. Yeah, because I think if you do it from that joint, I'm actually trying to think of how most people sit like that. Like, I don't know if it's. I think it is just the elbow touching the knee cap, because I don't think it's the forearm. I think it's definitely the elbow. I also thought about maybe adding a scouter to her one eye too, just because she does work with the guild, and I kind of wanted to show that idea too. Or actually, would her torso be angled this way, or would it be angled this way instead? Maybe. I think yeah, because yeah, her one arm wouldn't be up that far, so I think it actually is this way. Yeah, which means her arm would actually be protruding from this side. Her shoulders are probably not going to be that wide, but I wanted to get like the basic idea of what the pose is going to look like down first, and then we can kind of build it from there. See, I think something like this is good, and then obviously because her foot's going to be dangling like this far out, um, I'm going to have the edge of whatever she's sitting on like right here, and have it be kind of parallel to the rest of her body. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of a rooftop, like a flat rooftop, and then Apex will be in the background here. Like I at least definitely want like the main tower to be poised somewhere up here. That's gonna be the hard part too, is thinking about the angle of where the city's gonna be for the rest of her. We'll see about it though. I'm more focused on getting her first. Hey, Dad, what's up? I am drawing. I think, yeah, this is where it would start from here, and then this is where that would start from here. Actually, this all should go over the the other sketch, so I kind of have a good idea of where that goes. New header sketch. There we go. Paste in place. That is pasting on another layer. Whoops. Yeah, I think that's right about where she needs to be. Okay. Why did you go that big? Hold on. What happened to your brush? This is where the body comes from, is just from drawing shapes and just having them work together. I mean, these are very, very rough sketches, but they'll get there. Great. Okay, I like how this is going so far. I think she definitely needs to be smaller though, for especially for the keyblade to fit in frame. So I'm gonna do that real quickly. Mm. Yeah, because he's kind of hang over anyway, so I think that's good. And then we'll just move it a little bit higher. A little bit more off to this side. I know we'll have her like right there. That looks good. Anchor it down. And of course we need to move this sketch now. Okay. I think it looks good so far. Hold on, I'm gonna save it first. It's not bringing any of this up, right? Oh, but it usually doesn't. Yeah, no. Oh, it's trying to think. Hold on. I was overwhelming it with commands. You know, on thumbs. I want to put it in character drawings. What am I actually gonna call this drawing now that I think about it? Because I kind of have a concept for it now. I guess for now, just Heather and Apex. There you go. All right, and then I also wanted to look over here again. I want to make sure I got her body proportions and everything right with how I originally drew her. Yeah, so far it's pretty good. I might mess around with the head shape a little bit more later, but at least proportion wise, it's looking pretty good. The foot probably needs to be a little bit bigger, obviously, but um, everything else I'm feeling good about so far. Yeah, but say we might not see that foot. I'm not entirely sure. Might just see it here. Yeah, might actually just see the foot here. Yeah, everything else is pretty good though. Um, I like how like strong the figure looks here so far. I might add a bit more feminine touches just to kind of really kind of get that across. Whoa. Okay, that should be good. And I think the only other thing I want to do, yeah, is draw her breasts and then draw her hands. I think I've actually drawn them like decently big too. I mean, especially on here, they're actually decently big. I think Pansy might have had a sway in that decision. Whoa. Uh, if you hear me just randomly mumbling stuff, I'm mimicking the song I'm hearing. That looks about right though. Yeah. Okay. Of course, again, most of this is going to be hidden behind the shirt, but I need to get like the basic skeletal structure of her down first. That way I know what to work with. So I basically have to draw her pseudo nude to do so. That's always the best kind, right? It's like she's naked, but she's not quite. because the bits aren't there. So she's not technically nude, but she is. Now I gotta do my favorite part, hands. I love hands, dude. All right. So I think usually, yeah, the way I was thinking about this one was like it was gonna be hanging, like that. So kind of like that. So yeah, palm down and curl and fingers curled down that way as well too. I just gotta make sure it's at the right angle too, because it looks like the way the hand's angled here, it's kind of like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to see all the fingers. You're mostly gonna be seeing a side view, but not quite a side view, but enough where it matters. Whoops. And her, because this is this one, yeah, it's good. You might not actually see the rest of it. I think that's fine for the moment, at least on that hand. And then again, you might actually see an angled down version of the hand. To be fair, hands might have to be their own. They might have to be their own layer, because goddamn, hands are so complicated. Yeah, let me do it as another hand, actually. Hands. Freaking hands, dude. Yeah, especially at this little angle here. Like her arm is basically going, this way. Also, I can be a little bit cartoony with it. It's my hands usually go the cartoony route anyway, so You know, actually, I think that looks way better. Yep. And again, at this point, at this angle, the thumb would basically be just about completely hidden. I think this is where you would see the top of the palm size of the hand, and this is where you'd see the thumb. That's all you see of the thumb, though. Freaking hands, dude. Let's see. Yeah, seeing from the angle of this, again, the main. I want it to be a resting hand, a resting closed fist around the handle. And in cases like this too, with this hand at least, the best thing to do first is to draw the actual weapon first, and then once you have that in place, then you can draw the hand around it. It's easier to draw a hand around an item once it's made. So we gotta draw the weapon. Actually, I wonder, could we do this? Copy. This is just, I'm just thinking out loud here because I'm like, I don't want to, yeah. I was like, I don't want to just go between the thing if I don't need to. And in this case, it would be this one flipped. So let me flip it. It's all the way on the other side of the thing now. You know, let's get it like in all the right places too. Let's also rotate it. Whoops. So it's at the right angle. Yeah, that's about where I'd want it. And then we're just going to trace it. And no, I'm not going to trace it. But having the reference on hand is very nice. It's also good to know that I can do that. Yeah, I think definitely this is the angle I wanted to go at too. So we have this already. And it is going to be, I think, actually a little bit bigger than that now that I think about it. Actually, here, just because, again, we need to play with this a little bit, I'm going to scale it. Trying to kind of imagine her with it. I think that's about how big it is comparatively. Make it just a bit bigger to see. Actually, it might be that big even. Actually, now that I think about it, should I right angle it up a little bit more? Just because I like the pose being here, and I think just having a little bit of an angle change will make it so it rests right there instead, you know? Yeah, I think I like that. And I'm just going to leave it right there so I can trace. No, 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 no. But that is the angle I'm going to draw it at, though. Actually, the one thing I do want to do, since it's here, I'm only going to leave it here, and I'm only going to trace the line it's on, you know? Because that's all I need to get down, because I like the angle of that line, and I just want to make sure it stays that uniform. So, like, right where it meets here, and then here. If it's any consultation, I drew this line by myself in my sketches. So that at least helps. There we go. And the rest of it I'll draw freehand. Because I like that angle, and I want to make sure I keep that. I'm also, again, I'm in this part of the thing too where I'm like, I wonder if I can. I know I could do this with Photoshop. I can like freely rotate the actual frame, but I don't know if I can do that here. I know I can. I can use the hand to move around, but I'm kind of curious. I never tried this before. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna look it up real quickly here. GIMP rotate. Oops. Canvas. Shift middle mouse. Oh, 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 that's weird. Hold on. What if I zoom out now? Oh, that's weird. Okay, there's got to be a way to reset it though. But that's helpful. That's helpful to know that I can do that. Okay. Because I like doing that before in my stuff. I like being able to just rotate the whole canvas, and then that way I can actually draw at the angles I want to. There you go. Because yeah, now drawing a top to down is going to be a lot easier this way instead of having to draw the heart at a freaking angle, you know? I will say though, I don't think GIMP likes me drawing at this angle. I think as soon as I started to rotate it, it was just like, what the hell are you doing? Because now everything is infinitely slower. That's funny. You know, I can. Oh, God. I can definitely tell it doesn't like me drawing at this angle. Oh, man. It was actually they wouldn't be flowing like that. They would be because those are kind of like ribbons on the end. So I wanted to kind of flow with everything. But that is where they start. I should know better than to do that. All right. So I've learned that I can draw an angle. I may not necessarily always want to because, goddamn, is it slow. I thought I'd be able to handle it a lot better, but apparently not. All right. Okay. So I think it's good everywhere else, I think. Now I just want to figure out how to reset the rotation. Oh, it's under the view option. View, flip and rotate. Okay, reset, flip and rotate. Boom. There we go. You know, it definitely looks like it's a little stretched out. Again, it's a good thing it's in the conceptual phase because I can still make changes to it if I need to. So like here, whoa. Okay, I didn't even know I could do that. Whoops. Scale. Anchor down. Okay. That feels already better for me. This part feels like it needs to be bigger too. I think it being there is pretty good. Yeah, this already feels a lot better. Okay. And of course, the only other thing I want to do is have uh, have these little ties gently resting down. Hmm. I think it's fine if it's in front of it. Yeah. Especially because I can do what I did it with these before too and put some holes through it too. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Oh, that's funny. My playlist is just like, okay, we've reached the end of your stuff. I'm like, but I have over 24 hours worth of music. Why is it looping? That's very funny. Okay, we'll just start from a new point. That's fine. Okay, so now that we got the bar and stuff figured out, I think we can finally figure out where this hand goes. I mean, it's gonna be pretty simple. Like a resting hand grabbing onto it. Yeah, the thumb's gonna be like a little bit out, and then you're gonna have just the fingers just curled around the end of it. So hello, where are my hands? There we go. Mm-hmm. Again, this is our right hand, so yeah, it would be the thumb would be protruding out this side. Okay, I was about to say, I think it's just playing my same songs again. It's good though. Okay, I'm feeling good about this so far. I got her basic pose down. I got her weapon basically drawn. Um, I just need to draw like other features on her. Like I need to draw her face, I need to draw her hair, and I need to draw her clothes. And then obviously everything else in the background as well too. God, so much work goes in this kind of stuff, and also the background. All right, before we get into this though more, I'm going to quickly go use the bathroom. So I will be right back, guys. Excuse me. I'm back. Before I put it back, though, I'm gonna quickly look at my stuff here. Oh yeah, I just realized I never. That's fine. This is fine. I'm gonna go through the Kingdom Hearts playlist now because I feel like it's fitting. All right, I'll get this in a second, but give me a second. Oh, whoops, forgot. Get some bachow. Apparently, this is what this is called. These are pretty good. Almost dropped it. All right. Actually, you know what? I just realized too. I think the coolest thing for her to be in right here is her overlooking Apex of the Moon in the background. Yeah. Just so I can get a like general look of how things might look. I think we're gonna make the horizon line right about here. We'll show it at an angle. I want like the main tower of Apex to be like right here. And then the moon to be in between them, like right up here. I think about that much would be good. I don't know what the rest of the city is gonna look like. Probably very not as detailed, but I gotta figure out what the tower is gonna look like. So that'll be a fun little thing. Um, but first let's do her. Let's get her thing done. Heather hair. Oh, yeah, and then also Heather ref. I'm gonna pull her reference here. Oh, I still had the other one on there too, still selected. That's kind of funny. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I'll have her front reference that way, and then I'll have her none. I'll have her right side this way because I'm technically getting both angles. There we go. Anchor it down. It is kind of funny when they think about the references. They basically are just their mug shots. Actually, yeah, I'll put the skeleton of her thing down as her her reference thing for that. Or this would actually be better to put on here. Oops. There we go. There we go. Her just stoic glare. Yeah, she always kind of has like a look that she's just kind of like really just she's just kind of pissed off at everything. I'm actually gonna laser her eyes just a little bit more. And yes, obviously she does have some eyeliner as well too, so we will put that on her. Yeah, now she does have the indeed the resting bitch face, which is she is so famously known for. And actually, to be fair, I'd rather this be a little bit higher on her face. I do want her face to be angled down, but I think her head isn't going to be nearly that large. Oh no, wait, no, her head's going to be that large, but her face is not going to be that small. That looks better. Big, exaggerated proportions. That's what we're all about here. Right, please. Hmm. I'm saying she looks different, but I think it's mostly just because her hair looks like it's longer, but it's just because her her neck hasn't been fully defined yet in the picture. I think the hair is right. Actually, I think it's just this part here. It's mostly this part that needs to curl in more. Yeah, they kind because the way it works is it kind of is supposed to curl in. Yeah. There you go. That feels a little bit better. I think the main reason why it feels so weird to me is just because I don't think her head is fully realized. It looks like her kind of neck is kind of scrunched in a bit to her face. I kind of want to protrude it out a little bit more. So in this case, we're going to move it. Yeah, I think even having it like right here, because this is where her neck kind of protrudes out from here. I think that's better. Okay. And then I just want to mess around with this sketch a little bit to make it match with how her head is bent in. There we go. Yeah, it looks a little bit better now that she actually has like a full good like neck. But I think it needs to go in a little bit deeper. Or yeah, that's what I mainly want from it. So I want it to be thinner. So I want it to go in from here. Yeah, it looks way better with her neck being a little bit more defined. There we go. God, I can't get out of that expression, dude. She looks like such a badass, which is kind of really what I want her to be. Yeah, now it's really starting to feel like it's coming together. All right, now let's get her outfit, which I was tempted whether or not I wanted to have her hood up or down, because I think obviously the hood up always has is like a cool it's like a cool look, but at the same time, it's better to do that if you feel like you need to hide something or if you need to like keep your hair down or something. In this case, I think she would actually like the way that the night wind blows her hair around. So I'm gonna keep it down, I think. I should be able to get everything from just this little bit here. I'm not gonna think about it right now either. Okay. So outfit. Yeah, I don't know if we'll finish it today, but I'm at least gonna see how much I can do. I think we're gonna do at least up to the outfit and up to the skyline. We should have everything at least sketched out, maybe even drawn, but I'm not entirely sure about the coloring and shading yet. I don't know if that'll get done before 4. Hold on. Before continuing with it, I think the head proportion looks correct. I was thinking about maybe making it slightly bigger, but I wasn't sure. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I'm not gonna dwindle on it too much. Good old dive to the heart just started playing. Yeah. Yeah, that's about where it would be. I always do this every time. I put it over the breast, but I'm just like, wait, I had to remember breasts are a thing. Because even in her jacket for her front thing, the like ideally the jacket or the breasts make room for way for the jacket. They don't usually drape them over unless they're zipping it up. But in this case, she wouldn't have it like that. She would have it off to the side, yeah. So in this case, actually, yeah, I can have the top parts where it would hook around her shoulders. But then, yeah, it would go right here. I think that's the same thing in this case too. It would wrap around her left breast here, and then kind of continue down from there. Ooh, having a little bit of a peek over. Hmm. Kind of like that idea. Yeah, you know, I actually do. I like that. I like the idea of having just a little bit of her underneath tank peek through the jacket. Actually, I don't know. In this case, because of the angle, maybe this one would go a little bit over, but it would follow. It would still follow the shape of her breast. You know, it would still follow that curve. So it would cover like the little bit here. And then, all right, this is the one where it's, hold on. Yep, that's what it was. That's right. It's the dive to heart into the study. Actually, maybe the angle actually would be kind of more toward the. Yeah, actually, I think it would curve in a little bit more instead. By the way, I just gotta say, Yoko Shimomura, musical genius. Yeah, then it would go down here, a little bit past, and that's where the jacket would settle at too. Mm-hmm. I think in this case, yeah, because of the angle of it, you would just be able to see this one underneath here. Yep. And then the rest of the jacket here. All right, actually, I remember there was a thing about this. Hold on. Uh, zipper. No, wait. Jacket, zipper, position. I know there's a whole thing about this. I think because I remember there was, depending on what type of hoodie or whatever you wore. Um, yeah, because men's jackets have the zipper on the right side, and women's jackets are on the left. I just recently remembered that fact. Um, as I was drawing this, I was like, wait a minute, I think that was different actually. Yeah, so in her original reference sheet, it's actually wrong. She's actually wearing a men's hoodie. In this case, it would actually have to be on the zipper would have to be over here on this side. Which is kind of funny because now that I think about it, you wouldn't see it. You just you wouldn't be able to see it because it's underneath her meaty thigh. All right, she does have like a little star thing right there. forgot about the little star necklace. Actually, yeah, it would be kind of like right about here instead. Because it would go behind her. And I'm trying to think about how it would go. Because it would kind of go like, yeah, back that way. So you might see like a bit of the hood back here. I think that looks natural, right? Again, obviously you would erase all this back here too because this is no longer a thing. And of course, these jeans are ripped because she's a bad girl and she doesn't take very good care of her jeans. There we go. All right. I'm not sure what to do about the other foot just yet, but I basically got kind of everything else covered here. Uh, yeah, I think with her position over, yeah, her arm would go over the keyblade, so I need to make sure that that hand and arm look good as well too. Which so far it looks very big, so I might actually scrunch it in just a little bit more. Cause she may be strong, but she ain't that strong. Yeah, this would be this part. Yeah, just moving it in that much makes like a world of difference. I think I am unironically gonna have to make her hand and the weapon just a bit bigger though to compensate for it. Cause I like the look of this hand. I think it's great, but I do want to make it just a bit bigger. So that way it sticks to my comically large proportionalizations that I've been doing. Yeah, I think just making it just a smidge bigger is gonna help it a lot. Oh God. I am not keen on hearing Small World right now. It's a small world after. Nope. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. Yeah, let me finish that up too, real quickly. Shoop. All right, and then which side was she holding that ring on again? It was her left. It was her left hand. That's right. Which actually just realized this, and I probably should have researched into this before I started drawing her. But is she left-handed? Because have a strange feeling that that I did that I did make her like that, which means I would have to reflip all of this. She is. I remember that now. She is left-handed. Um, so guess what that means, guys? I have to flip everything. Um, thankfully, her proportions and everything are basically correct. The main thing that's gonna have to change is the hair, because the hair is styled differently around the other way. But everything else works if it's flipped. I forgot about that because I'm just like, wait a minute, she should be holding it in her left hand instead because she's left-handed. Oh man, dude. Oh man. Yeah, we gotta do that. Okay. I kind of wonder actually if I can just do that. We'll see if we can. Um. So first, we're just gonna take everything. We're just gonna flip it. Everything should just be flipped exactly where it should be, and nothing should be different from that. Shoop. 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 And no, those don't need to get flipped, but and of course some things are a little bit. I think it's because the basic sketch was a little bit different too. Is it able to get any of that? Hold on. Hello. There is no path to move. Okay, then. We're gonna ignore that then. Hold on. Let me move it, please. Please. I don't understand how I'm not able to grab any of that. It's, I don't know. It's not letting me, it's not letting me. It's just simply not letting me move it. How interesting. Whatever. Um, I just wanted to move that line so it matched with her sitting position because I wanted to kind of get that done. But that's fine. I think I can at least move this enough so it matches up. Because that line is going to bother me. What do you mean there's no path to move? What do you mean there's no path to move? I can see it. I can see it. I know I just flipped it, but that shouldn't nullify it from being something that I can move. Hmm. So strange. It is so strange how it literally is not letting me move it. Hold on. I'm going to restart everything. I'm going to restart everything. I don't think it would be because I flipped it. It did happen after I flipped it, but like, I don't think that should be the reason. Am I crazy? Was it because I didn't anchor it down, maybe? Hold on. I might be onto something here. Nope. I'm able to select it like that. If I anchor it down here, can I move it? Can I move it? No. Why can't I move it? But why can't I? Huh. That's very strange. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna look into this issue because that's gonna be pissing me off. Ensure you're on layer mode. Yes, I am. I am on the layer mode. It doesn't work. Consider using the move tool to move the active layer. Okay. So that is what this tool is. That is the move tool. I have it selected. It's in my hand. As far as I can tell, none of the locks are on because I've already toggled them on and off. That seems like a very strange bug to have. Hold on. Can I just... Does it remember any of my history before I open this? I don't think it would. I've literally never seen that before. Actually, here we go. That's a good idea. What if I duplicated the layer? And then I say goodbye to that layer. And then I say, hello, new layer. Can I move you? I am trying to move you. Why won't you move? Can I hold on? Can I move literally anything? Maybe that's the issue. It's just the move tool isn't working. Can I move literally anything? I can't even move these things. Can't even move the references. What? I've literally never come across that before. What the heck? Is this a bug? Move tool not working. Ensure the tool is set to move layer and not move. Yeah, it should be. Check the status bar. Where is that? Where would that be? Is this thing? It's my device status. Uh, hmm. Yeah, give me a second, guys. I literally cannot do anything unless I can move things. If I can figure out how I can move things again, that'd be great. I just need the power to be able to move anything, and then we're golden. Let me just test this theory right now. New test thingy. Uh, okay. I have a new thing here. Okay, hold on. Just so you guys can see, because I'm stumped on this. I don't know what's going on. So let me see. Okay, I would say I just put this little thing in here. Okay, so this proves for sure that what I'm trying to do is not moving any of the layer. Okay, so something went wrong with the move tool. I think that's it. I do notice there's a new icon where the move thingy is. So I think it's something with how the move tool is working right now. I don't know how it got like that, but it did. Layer. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so I guess okay, I just went into the things for it. I think it was toggled onto move paths or move selection, which was the reason why I wasn't able to do anything. I don't know what I did or what key I pushed to make that happen, but we solved it. So hopefully everything can go well now. Okay, so now let us do what we were trying to do from the beginning, which is oh right, I did technically lock this. See, that's the first thing I want to do is make sure that this was against, you know, her leg here. Okay. Next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to move you so I could draw over you. Oh, I think because I had to move her face around, that's why it looks like it's off. So this is actually correct. It's just her hair layer that is off. And again, technically this is supposed to be flipped as well too. So I need to figure out how to do that. Actually, yeah, this is what I was curious about. Let me try this first. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to flip this. Back to where it was. And then we're going to Or I guess, you know, that's what I was first trying to do. Yeah. What I was first trying to do is make sure it's in the same position because I wanted to get it to the point where I could draw the rest of the face around it and then everything else could fit right against it. So I think this is right about where I would want it to be. Okay. And again, let's see if we can do this again. So first we will flip her. Boosh. I think it's because I didn't anchor it down the first couple of times I was doing it. Something got screwed up with it. But this time we're going to definitely do it for right. And then we're going to move her over here. Shoop. And then we're going to rotate her so she's facing the right way. Ooh. Actually, now I think about it, yeah. I think the hair flipping that way would work right. It's just because her rest of her face follows that I don't like that. So we're gonna do that first. We're gonna be like, okay, the face is great here. This face is great here. Let me just lasso everything around it because I didn't think about putting the face on a separate layer because that would have been a smart thing to do. There you go. Now she's bald. Flip this around. Rotate. And then we'll move it into place. God, I forgot her ear goes with it too. But yeah, this is about where her hair should go. We're going to rotate it a little bit. In the same vein here, yeah. Is this worth doing over than just redrawing it? Who knows? You know what? I think it actually is, at this point, it is worth just redrawing it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a new layer. I'm going to opacity it into the background. Make a new layer, have there a new hair. And then we're just going to draw it that way. Because now the whole thing is that her... Yeah, let me get you guys over here. Because now the whole thing about this is, yeah, the part where it's supposed to be it's supposed to be a little bit more to the left, and that's not where it is now. So let's do that now. Oh man, this is what I get for not putting it in her left hand at the beginning. Everything else was perfect. It's just this part is what got screwed up on it. I actually kind of like how she looks in this angle a little bit more, anyways. Actually, yeah, it's not supposed to have a lot of hanging off, but I do want a little bit. There we go. That feels actually much better. That actually feels much better than what I was originally doing. We fixed it. It's all good. Everything is peachy. Everything is a lot better than what I remember it being. Because I think I accidentally gave her like longer hair the first time when I was doing this. I noticed, but now it looks a lot better. Yeah, thankfully a lot of her design was symmetrical. It was just the hair that was different, but we were able to fix it. And also, God damn it, I need to change the hard weapon because the hard weapon is off as well too. Okay, I just need to move it over. God, she looks like such a badass. I love her. It's great. I love it. This is my favorite thing. Okay. Did this? Hold on. Oh, it did. I was like, did this get longer? Because I used to be able to see my chat before. Yeah, let me fix that real quickly. Once upon a time, I could see my chat. Okay, I think it's getting all of it now. Welcome to the chat room. Wait, did something happen with my live stream at some point? Disable. Okay, no, it's still good. Yeah, I didn't get any notifications, so should be good. Okay. All right. It's already halfway to 4. Let's see if I can do at least something for the background. Just by the way, I bet you the background's still not flipped either, right? I need to do that too. That's not the right layer. I have to flip the moon as well too. Anchor it in. Bunk. Good. Okay. Let's figure out how to draw buildings. That's what I gotta worry about right now. Oh boy. Okay. Apex Tower. So I had a general idea of like how Apex looked as a city. The whole thing about it is that it's like this big round circular city with a giant tower in the middle, and it's kind of almost like that Pokeball icon. It's kind of like that in shape. I can actually draw it for you in here just in a second, since I figure out how to write on my screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, basically how the map of if it looks from the top down is you got your circle, your circular city. You got right in the middle this. Yeah, right in the very center. Actually, it's kind of like, yeah, it's actually about, because it's actually a pretty big area comparatively. It's about that big, I would say. You got a little area right in the middle, and then a thing right in the center there too. So that there is Apex Tower right in the middle. There's a big plaza around the place, and then all the rest of the city is just a bunch of uh, is a bunch of little buildings. So how it basically goes is you have the middle road here that splits the two sections, um, and then the top side of Apex is basically I think, well, actually, no. Most of the middle part along the road obviously would be your big market districts, and then the further out you go into the dome, uh, the more rural the areas get, basically. So it's kind of actually almost like, yeah, there's kind of almost another circle inside of here, where like these are the outside areas that are rural, and these are like the main city complex. But there's like a big, circle gate and everything around everything, and that's usually kind of how it goes. Actually, I don't know if that would say there's even technically a gate. It just kind of has that shape to it. That's kind of just how it naturally formed, basically. And then something I never really thought about until now too. But I that was like the main area. The thing I wanted is I wanted the main road to be like straight down the center of it. Which actually, now I think about that, whoops. I think this would actually be like towards the north here, and this would be the south. But another thing I was thinking about having done was I wanted there to be like this kind of river that goes underneath it. But it seemed I don't want it to go over the whole city. But what I think would actually be a cool idea though is maybe it comes from an angle and it goes around this line here before going out. Because I like the idea of a river going through the city. I think that would be a cool idea for it. So again, this is just me thinking kind of out loud, like what the place is gonna kind of look like. Um, I think she's majorly going to be facing towards the north side of the thing. So again, I'm kind of trying to get a basis on where she would be pointed towards all this stuff. I want to show the river off in the background, so I'm thinking she's gonna be like out here. I think she's gonna be like right out here is her location, and then she's gonna be looking at the tower here in the distance, as you can see here. The river will be in the background, and then you'll have everything else around you. Um, I had a thing before I drew for this. I don't actually remember if I put it up on DeviantArt. I'm actually gonna look it up real quickly. Because I did upload a lot of my stuff to DeviantArt when I was doing like stuff for D&D. And I thought one of the areas, no, I didn't draw Apex. I did think of it as a concept, but I didn't actually fully put it out there, I think. I think I actually, hold on. It might, I might have it on my phone. Because I remember taking a picture of it way back in the time when I first was drawing things for my D&D group. So it would be in that. If I still even have it. And I'm kind of technically stalling for content, but it's fine. I uh I just want to make sure I'm getting it done right cuz that was like the whole thing about it. Oh, here it is actually. Yep, here's the map I had for it. Okay. Right. Okay, so that was actually the thing about it. Not now I remember how I had it. I should probably upload this into my computer at some point. But I'm going to draw what I have up on here and just kind of show you guys what my original idea for this thing was. Uh, so first I'm just gonna erase all of this because this is actually now irrelevant. All the things I just talked about irrelevant. Don't worry about it. Forgore everything I just talked about. Okay, so what the actual idea Apex is still like a circular city. The whole thing about it was I wanted that to be the key feature of it is that it is just a giant whoosh Of course, this is the map that I drew for this is based on D&D times, so things are going to be a little bit more updated from here, but it's still going to have the same basic structure. Um, there is, yeah, the plaza is actually fairly large, and I remember it. Actually, I do kind of want it to be about this big instead, because I want it to be a big city. I want it to be a big city. So it's going to basically look like this. There's going to be actually technically one, two, four main paths that go across the whole place, and it's going to be from top to bottom, left to right, uh, corner to corner, other corner to other corner. Uh, and again, just for clarification, this is the north, this is the west, this is the east, and then this is the south. So we have four big main sections that they all cross into. This is not a thing here. In the middle path, they do open up. Because right here is where the apex tower is. Right in the center there. But all the roads kind of surround it. So basically what I had for it is that this whole section was the upper class like section of it, like where all of the bougie hotels and all of the royals go to meet up at. Everything down here is the commercial stuff. So this is where a lot of your other amenities are going to be in, and then all the housing would be on the side. Actually, I kind of don't know. I kind of like the idea of the housing and stuff being on the outskirts, and then the further in you go, the more commercial it gets. Yeah, no, because that was my first concept of it. I actually like the idea more that I had before, where it was the outer perimeter and then the inner perimeter. You know, which actually I would say would be it'd be a bigger circle than that. It kind of looked like, yeah, kind of like that. So this whole section outside here, this is your rule area, and your housing. This is where all of that's going to be in this section out here. On the inside, this is where your main city is going to be. So this is going to be the city, and then all the main roads going in and out of the place are going to be like big commercial spots. Like there's going to be like a lot of like, there's a lot of commercial stuff just all down these roads here. So it's going to look fairly busy on those parts. And then there's actually some areas that surround it that are interesting, which I forgot about these. Over here is a hole. Over here is the lake, which is like almost like a peanut-ish shape. And then over here, you got your forest. And you got another area over here that's also a forest. And all these roads lead out to other giant main roads too. So that goes out there. This goes out here. Whoops. This goes out here. This goes out here. This goes out here. This goes all the way down here. But yeah, this is your big old apex forest. That's where this is. This is your lake. And then this is the bottomless hole where everything goes to get thrown out. No one knows where it goes, but it does go there. Oh yeah, and then into this place too. There is a path that goes into there. This is another forest, but this is like a more of a fun little thing. This is a shrouded forest. So this is where people go to get lost and get kicked out by its mystical powers. Kind of like the Lost Forest from Zelda. It's very much the same kind of vein, is what that does there. And then there's a couple of ruins just out here in the distance. So that's what all of that is there. Um, oh yeah, and then from the lake as well too, you have the area here that leads right up to it, and then you have a path that goes across. Oh no, you have a river going from the lake, going across. And that's what this is. This is your river. So that's basically what the whole city looks like. It's actually got some very interesting features. And oh yeah, I forgot there was like three main like landmarks. All right, I think there were supposed to be like statues. That's what those little things were. There's like little dots I put around on each little part. Those are all big statues that kind of surround the big main tower. Yeah. All right. So basically, that's kind of what the main of the city looks like. And again, the main reason why I draw from the top down here, not only to explain lore about Apex, uh, but I also want to try to figure out where Heather is in the grand scheme of this whole place. Because she's not going to be in the housing district. Those are like the more smaller buildings and houses and such. Um, she's going to be on top of a skyscraper that overlooks the big main tower. So I'm thinking, do I want the forest behind her, or do I kind of want the lake to be behind her? Yeah, so she's going to kind of be right, I think, off here is kind of where I'm going to put her. So that way she has a good view of the tower, and then directly behind it is your lake. Might even get a snippet of the forest on the other side. Maybe even the whole. I don't know if I can. I might be able to fit that into the frame. Who knows? But that's what I'm kind of thinking about. Okay, so Apex Towers sketch. Anyways, wanted to throw that out there, get all those ideas out there, so I could make this a thing. So again, the whole thing too about Apex Tower is I still kind of have not entirely sure about what it should look like. The main idea of what I wanted for it though is I wanted there to be a giant crystal on it, because one of the big main things about my world and its lore and everything is the they have a lot of these towers here that are like giant hub worlds where they kind of just they're like a crystal that just teleports you from area to area. And in this case, this crystal would be basically kind of shining near the top of the tower as like a beacon. And that's what this whole tower is meant to be. It's supposed to be this just giant beacon that connects to the other crystals way out in the distance. So I want it to look very, very cool, very fantasy-like. So I'm thinking the top part of it is just going to be the crystal itself, like just kind of floating. So like, lots of jagged edges there. There you go. And then I want like a ring to surround it. So something like, there you go. There you go. Something kind of akin to that, yeah. And then finally, the tower that supports said structure in the distance. Oops. Actually, maybe not that simple of design. I'm thinking what I want for it is I want it to be kind of like a multi-story kind of thing. But it is going to be pretty tall. So it's going to have the point that it reaches out to on top. And then the bottom part of the tower. Sephiroth. Actually, yeah, something similar to that. Yeah, in this case, you would only be seeing the top part of the tower because the she's kind of at an angle facing it. Yeah, I want each of them to have a little decoration up top of their little spires. That seems good. I think I might make it just a bit a little skinnier. But I do like the idea of how it looks like that. There you go. I think I like that a little bit better. Move it. Move it. Okay. Now we gotta draw everything around it. Oh boy. Oh. That's fine. It's whatever. It is whatever. Okay, so like I said, this is gonna be having the plaza around it. Which is actually, yeah, it's gonna be fairly big. That seems about good. And then you're gonna have all the buildings that surround this. Which the buildings are going to be probably actually the hardest part to draw, now that I think about it. Because I have to draw a lot of these at an angle. And they all have to go to like a marked point in the distance, I think, too. Because I know where the horizon lies. I have that sorted out. But actually, again, just because of the point of this building, I have at least that thought of. So where does this go to? It goes. Looks like out to this point in the distance. So that is going to be our marking point. So in this case, I think the building here is going to end right about here. And I want the edge of this building to match with this, with the angle that this is at. So they're a little bit more parallel. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, a lot of these are going to just be like, I think, random skyscrapers. I actually wonder if you even would be able to see Apex or the lake in the background. I think you might be able to faintly make out some of its features from thing because the buildings aren't going to stand too tall after the this thing, like probably like only up to here. So you might see in the distance. Let me draw it out in the distance just to be safe. So Apex Lake in this case would probably be right about there. Mm-hmm. Okay. And again, from the way that this is, yeah, there's a line that goes basically straight from here to about there. And this would be the line that goes, yeah, basically to where she's at. There's one that goes out here, and there's one that goes out this way. Yeah, I think from, again, judging the size of this to how I had on originally, this is where the border of the city is going to be. At least just from this angle. Yeah, it's going to span actually pretty far this way too because of how wide this view is from here. Because, like, I think to reach the same amount of distance, yeah, we need to be at least going out to here. Actually, yeah, right. Because, again, it would be kind of stretching out this way. So maybe it would start reaching around here. Yeah, so it would go all the way out to here. All the way out to here. Maybe you wouldn't see it, actually. Yeah, because the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, yeah, this city would basically go across the whole freaking place. Or not even, yeah, not even that way. Yeah, to at least encompass the area she's in, it kind of needs to stretch out that far, I think. Actually, I think it's just because, yeah, this isn't parallel to this. I still think it would, though. To get to where she is, I kind of needs to go across the whole way. It'd make more sense if the point was over here, because then it would be able to warp over right. Actually, to be fair, I think this point should probably start going towards this way. That's about how it would be. Doing point perspective on stuff is weird. But I do know at this point you would be seeing more of the road towards this way. So it's like, yeah. But again, just like as like a general like look, like you're gonna have buildings, about that tall around it, and everything around there, and then even these are gonna be like, oh, we got buildings about. I'm also just wanting to get like a look to how the outer perimeter looked. It's such a confusing concept to get around. It might need to change the angle of where this is. Maybe I should. Maybe honestly, most of my problems might get solved if I just point Apex Tower right on the same line as the horizon line here, and then that way she's kind of still looking out that way. That might be what I do. It's already 4 o'clock though, so I'm gonna start getting off the stream here for a bit. So I'm just gonna put these notes down for myself and to do later. Notes. All right, so just move that there. There you go. And then it's basically, I think, all I really need to do. Yeah, everything else after that should feel natural. And then I think we should get a better look of it. But yeah, so excuse me. This is basically what we got done, yeah, so far. Yeah. Sorry, we just had to hide that part. Yeah. Okay, so this is basically what we got done today, though. I'm pretty proud of this. Like, I think she looks great. If there's anything I'm good at, it's character design. Everything else around it, not so much. But we'll get there. We will get there. Um, I do want to. I'll probably try to find ways to work on this in my spare time. Um, Hopefully, I'll have a little bit more time to spare in the coming days, so I can actually work on projects such as these. Because I have a lot of been meaning to do, and this is one of the main things that I wanted to try out since I had the stream time for it, and this is on my rotation of like things to do. I think she's gonna look super cool. I think it's gonna look super cool. Plus, it'll give me a chance to show off how Apex looks, which I think is a cool idea. All right. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's stream. And if you liked it, please like it. Subscribe and follow if you wish to see more of this in the future. And we're going to be doing a little bit more streaming later today after dinner. So if you want to join me and see me and Pansy play the new Monster Prom game, please feel free to do so. Until then, have a good morning and or night wherever you are. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.